I'm not going to hide it anymore, Levi. I'm in love with Jake, Claire said, throwing her wedding ring on the table. Levi's phone buzzed as he parked his truck in the driveway of their East Austin bungalow. A canceled work meeting freed his evening, a rare break from the grind of coding deadlines. He planned to surprise Claire with her favorite Tex-Mex dinner, slow-cooked carnitas, her weakness. The thought made him grin as he grabbed grocery bags from the passenger seat. But Claire's silver Honda sat in the driveway, glinting under the streetlight. She'd texted him at noon, girls' night with Jess and Mia. Don't wait up. It was only 6:15 p.m. He paused, keys dangling in his hand. Maybe her plans fell through. Maybe Jess flaked again. Levi shook off the unease, unlocked the front door, and stepped inside. The house was quiet, but a faint hum of water ran from the upstairs bathroom. He set the groceries on the kitchen counter, noticing a leather jacket slung over the couch arm. Not his. The stitching was too flashy, the fit too narrow. His pulse quickened. Claire's purse lay on the coffee table, her phone absent. Unusual, since she always left it charging there. "Claire," he called, voice steady but loud enough to carry. No answer. The water shut off. Footsteps padded down the stairs, and Claire appeared, wrapped in a towel, hair damp, clutching a bottle of conditioner. She froze, eyes widening for a split second before softening into a casual smile. "You're home early," she said, adjusting the towel like it was armor. Levi nodded, glancing at the jacket. "Whose is that?" he asked, keeping his tone neutral. "Oh, that's Jake's," she said, breezing past him toward the kitchen. "He stopped by earlier, needed to drop off some work stuff." She opened the fridge, pulling out a water bottle. "Work stuff?" Levi pressed, leaning against the counter. "Yeah, client files," she said, not meeting his eyes. "He's in town for a pitch." Levi's jaw tightened. Jake was her coworker, always mentioned with a practiced nonchalance. Jake's leading the new campaign. Jake's got a killer instinct. Levi had met him once, a smooth-talking guy with a handshake too firm, eyes too sharp. "Thought you were out with Jess," Levi said, watching her sip the water. Claire shrugged. "They bailed. I came home instead." She set the bottle down, her movements too deliberate, like she was staging a scene. Levi's gut churned. He'd ignored the signs for months. Her phone always face down, late nights labeled as client dinners. The new charm bracelet she claimed was a gift from her sister. But this jacket, her early return, the lie about her plans, it was too much to dismiss. "I'm going to start dinner," he said, turning to the groceries to mask his suspicion. Claire nodded, already halfway up the stairs. "I'll shower again." "Long day," she called back. "Again?" Levi's hands paused over the carnitas. The bathroom had just been used. He waited until her footsteps faded, then picked up the jacket. It smelled of cedar cologne, sharp and unfamiliar. A receipt slipped from the pocket, dated yesterday, from a bar downtown. Not a client meeting. His chest tightened, but he folded the receipt back, placing the jacket exactly as he'd found it. Levi chopped onions, the knife's rhythm grounding him as his mind raced. Claire's story didn't add up. Jake wasn't just dropping off files. Levi knew her tells, the quick smile, the casual deflection. She was hiding something. He pulled out his phone, opened LinkedIn, and found Jake's profile. His latest post boasted about a big win with a client time-stamped last night. The same night as the bar receipt. Levi's thumb hovered over the message button. He typed, "Hey Jake. This is Levi, Claire's husband. Need to talk. Can we meet tomorrow?" He hit send before doubt could stop him. Upstairs, the shower ran again. Levi diced tomatoes, his movements mechanical. He thought of their early days, Claire laughing over burnt tacos, stealing his hoodie on chilly Austin nights, leaving post-it notes with silly doodles on his laptop. That Claire felt like a ghost now. The woman upstairs was a stranger, playing a role. His phone pinged. Jake's reply, "Sure, man. What's up?" "Tomorrow at 7, the Driscoll bar?" Levi stared at the screen. The Driscoll was upscale, public, neutral ground. He typed back, "Works for me." Claire came downstairs, now in leggings and a loose sweater, her hair still damp. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Smells good," she said, grabbing a glass from the cabinet. "You didn't have to cook." Levi shrugged, stirring the carnitas. "Felt like it." She lingered, watching him, like she was waiting for a question he wouldn't ask. Not yet. He served the plates, and they ate in near silence, the clink of forks louder than their words. "Good day?" she asked, poking at her food. "Fine," Levi said. "Yours?" She nodded. Busy. No mention of Jake, no mention of the canceled plans. After dinner, Claire retreated to the couch with her tablet. Scrolling through something, she tilted away from him. Levi washed the dishes, his mind on tomorrow's meeting. He didn't want to fight. Not yet. He wanted answers, clarity, something to anchor the unease twisting in his gut. As he dried his hands, his phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. Check her tablet. Syncs to her phone. You'll see. No name, no context. Levi's grip tightened on the towel. Someone else knew. He glanced at Claire, her face lit by the tablet's glow. I'm heading to bed, he said, keeping his voice even. She nodded without looking up. Upstairs, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling fan's slow spin. The message burned in his mind. Her tablet was downstairs, still on the couch. He could check it now, but the thought felt like crossing a line he wasn't ready for. Instead, he replayed her words, her lies, the jacket's cologne. Tomorrow, he'd meet Jake. Tomorrow, he'd start pulling the thread. Levi woke to the sound of Claire's car pulling out of the driveway at 6:47 a.m. No goodbye, no note, just the crunch of gravel fading into the Austin morning. He checked his phone. Jake had confirmed their meeting at the Driscoll bar, 7 p.m. sharp. The anonymous text from last night lingered in his mind. Check her tablet. Syncs to her phone. You'll see. Levi headed downstairs, spotting Claire's tablet still on the couch, screen dark but plugged into the charger. His fingers hesitated over it. Crossing this line meant no going back. He unlocked the device. Her password hadn't changed since they set it up years ago for shared playlists. The Messages app was open, a thread with Jake pinned at the top. Levi's stomach knotted as he scrolled. Last night was electric, Claire had written at 2 a.m. yesterday. Jake's reply, can't stop thinking about you. Tomorrow? The thread stretched back months, filled with late-night confessions. You make work bearable. I need you more than I should. Levi's jaw clenched. One message, dated a week ago, stung hardest. Levi's so predictable. He doesn't even notice I'm gone. He snapped a screenshot, then another, his hands steady despite the heat rising in his chest. A photo popped up in a thread. Claire and Jake at a rooftop bar, her head tilted against his shoulder, his arm around her waist. The timestamp matched the bar receipt from the jacket. Levi forwarded the evidence to his email, then locked the tablet. He wasn't ready to confront her, not until he had more. The meeting with Jake would be his next move. Levi drove to work, his software engineering job a blur of code reviews and meetings. Between tasks, he searched Jake's LinkedIn again, digging deeper. A post mentioned a team dinner last month at a steakhouse downtown, but Claire had told Levi she was at a client pitch that night. He cross-checked her calendar, still synced to his phone from their early days. No pitch was listed, just a vague work event. The lies were piling up, each one a brick in the wall between them. At 6:30 p.m., Levi parked near the Driscoll, its historic facade looming under the city's glow. He arrived early, securing a corner booth with a clear view of the entrance. The bar hummed with after-work chatter, glasses clinking over low jazz. Levi ordered a coffee, needing a clear head. Jake walked in at 7:02, scanning the room before spotting Levi. He approached, handshake firm, voice clipped. Levi, good to meet you properly, he said, sliding into the booth. What's this about? Levi leaned forward, keeping his tone even. Claire, she's been lying to me. I think you know why. Jake's eyes flickered, but he didn't flinch. She's my co-worker. We're close, sure, but it's professional. Levi pulled out his phone, showing the screenshot of their messages. Jake's face tightened as he read. This isn't what it looks like, he started, but Levi cut him off. I found your jacket in my house yesterday. She said you dropped off files. Care to explain? Jake shifted, his confidence cracking. Look, we've hung out a few times. Work stuff, drinks, nothing serious. Levi slid the bar receipt across the table. This says otherwise. Jake stared at it, silent. Levi pressed on. I'm not here to fight. I just need the truth. How long? Jake exhaled, rubbing his neck. A few months. It started as a project thing, late nights. One thing led to another. Levi nodded, absorbing the blow. You married? He asked. Jake hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, Mia. She doesn't know. Levi's phone buzzed. A new message from the unknown number. Ask about Mia. She's been watching too. Levi's pulse spiked. He showed Jake the text. Who's this? Jake shook his head, visibly rattled. No idea. But Mia's been asking questions lately. Suspicious. Levi leaned back, piecing it together. Someone was feeding him information, someone who knew more than he did. "Meet me again tomorrow," Levi said. "Bring Mia. We're sorting this out." Jake nodded, reluctant but cornered. As Levi left the bar, he spotted Claire's Honda parked across the street, lights off. She was watching, just as she had been last night. He didn't acknowledge her, just walked to his truck, letting her stew in the uncertainty. Back home, the house was empty. Claire had left a sticky note on the fridge. "Late meeting, don't wait up." Another lie. Levi poured a glass of water, sat at the kitchen table, and opened his laptop. He searched Mia's name, finding her on LinkedIn, a marketing consultant, same firm as Claire and Jake. He sent her a message. "I'm Levi, Claire's husband. I met Jake tonight. We need to talk about them. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Easy Tiger on 6th Street? Mia replied within minutes. I knew something was off. "I'm in." Levi closed the laptop, his plan taking shape. He wasn't just chasing answers now. He was building a case. Claire thought she could rewrite their story, but Levi was done playing the fool. He texted his lawyer friend, Sarah, asking for a quick call tomorrow. She'd know how to protect his assets if this went south. As he climbed into bed, the empty side where Claire should have been felt less like a loss and more like a signal. The truth was close, and he was ready to pull it into the light. Levi arrived at Easy Tiger on 6th Street 10 minutes early, securing a table outside where the patio's string lights cast a soft glow. The Austin evening buzzed with pedestrians, but his focus was razor-sharp. Mia had agreed to meet at 6 p.m., and Jake would join them, unaware Levi had invited his wife. Levi's phone held a folder of screenshots, Claire's messages to Jake, the bar photo, the receipt, ready to lay bare the affair. His lawyer, Sarah, had prepped him that morning. Document everything, stay calm, keep it legal. Levi sipped a soda, eyes scanning for Mia's arrival. At 5:58, a woman approached, short, purposeful strides, clutching a manila envelope. "Levi?" she asked, voice steady but edged with tension. He nodded, gesturing to the seat across from him. Mia sat, her envelope hitting the table with a soft thud. "I've got my own evidence," she said, sliding it toward him. Inside were printed emails between Jake and Claire, some dated before Levi's suspicions began. One line stood out, "I'm tired of sneaking around. Let's just tell them." Levi's jaw tightened. Claire had been planning an exit. Before he could respond, Jake arrived, pausing when he saw Mia. His steps faltered, but he recovered, taking a seat. "Didn't know this was a group thing," he said, voice tight. Levi leaned forward. "It's time we all stop pretending. Mia knows." Jake's eyes darted to his wife, who stared back, unblinking. "Show him," Levi said to Mia. She opened her envelope, spreading out photos. Jake and Claire at a hotel bar, another of them leaving a client's office hand in hand. Jake's face drained of color. "Mia, I can explain." "Don't." She cut him off, voice like steel. "I've been tracking your late nights for weeks." She turned to Levi. "I hired a PI after Jake started dodging my questions. These came yesterday." Levi nodded, pulling out his phone to show the messages he'd found on Claire's tablet. Jake skimmed them, silent, his hands gripping the table's edge. Levi spoke, calm but firm. "You both thought you could rewrite our lives. That stops now." Mia's phone buzzed, and she glanced at it, frowning. "Another anonymous text," she said, showing Levi. It was a grainy photo of their current table, taken from across the street, with the caption, "They're not the only ones watching." Levi's pulse spiked. The same unknown number had texted him last night. Someone else was in the game, feeding them clues. "Claire's out there," Levi said, scanning the street. Her Honda wasn't visible, but he felt her presence, lurking, calculating. Jake broke the silence, voice low. "I didn't mean for this to hurt anyone. It just happened." Mia scolded. "You booked hotel rooms. That doesn't just happen." Levi ignored Jake's plea, focusing on Mia. "What's your next move?" She tapped her envelope. "Divorce papers, ready to file." "I'm done." Levi nodded. "Same. Sarah's drafting mine. But first, Claire needs to see this." He gestured to the evidence spread between them. Levi texted Claire. "Meet me at Contigo, 8 p.m. We need to talk." He chose the restaurant for its open layout. No corners for her to hide in. Mia agreed to come, bringing her photos. Jake hesitated, then nodded. "I'll be there. I owe her that much." Levi doubted his sincerity, but didn't care. This wasn't about Jake's redemption. It was about Claire facing the truth. At Contigo, Levi arrived first, securing a table near the bar. The place hummed with chatter, plates clattering as servers moved through the crowd. Mia arrived next, her envelope tucked under her arm. Jake trailed behind, eyes downcast. Claire walked in at 8:03, her steps confident until she saw Mia. Her smile froze. "What's this?" she asked, voice sharp as she sat. Levi slid his phone across the table, the screenshot of her messages to Jake glowing on the screen. "Read it," he said. Claire's eyes flicked over the text, her fingers tightening around her purse. "This is private," she started, but Mia cut in, tossing her photos onto the table. "So is my marriage," she said. Claire stared at the images, her and Jake, caught in moments she thought were secret. Her voice dropped. "Levi, let's talk alone." He shook his head. "No more scripts, Claire. You want it out. Here's the exit." He placed a folder in front of her, preliminary divorce papers, courtesy of Sarah, outlining a clean split with no claim to their shared assets. Claire's hands trembled as she opened the folder, scanning the terms. Jake tried to speak, but Mia silenced him with a look. "You don't get to play victim," she said. The table fell silent, the restaurant's noise fading into the background. Claire looked at Levi, eyes searching for a crack in his resolve. "You don't understand," she said, voice breaking. "I was unhappy." Levi leaned back. "Then you should have talked to me, not him." A server approached, but Levi waved them off. The tension was palpable, every glance between them loaded. Claire's phone buzzed, and she flinched, checking it under the table. Levi caught a glimpse of the screen, another anonymous message, this time a video still of her and Jake entering a hotel. "Who's sending these?" she muttered, voice shaking. Levi didn't answer. He didn't need to. The truth was unraveling, and Claire was caught in its threads. Levi left Contigo with the divorce papers untouched on the table, Claire's stunned silence trailing him out the door. Mia had walked out first, her own folder of evidence clutched tightly, leaving Jake to fumble through apologies that landed on no one. Levi drove home, the Austin skyline blurring past, his phone silent except for a text from Sarah. "Papers served. Stay focused. Don't engage until she signs." He parked in the driveway, noting Claire's Honda still absent. The house fell hollow, her presence erased by the weight of last night's confrontation. Inside, Levi checked his email, finding a new message from an unknown sender. No subject, just a link. He hesitated, then clicked. It opened a cloud drive with a single file, a time-stamped audio clip dated 2 weeks ago. Claire's voice, hushed but clear, filled his earbuds. "Jake, we need to be careful." Levi's not stupid. Jake's reply was smug. "He hasn't noticed yet. We're good." Levi's grip tightened on his phone. The anonymous tipster was relentless, feeding him fragments of Claire's betrayal like breadcrumbs leading to a trap. He forwarded the audio to Sarah, who replied instantly. "This seals it. Adultery clause strengthens your case." Levi paced the kitchen, mapping his next steps. Claire would try to spin this, rewrite the narrative to paint herself as the victim. He needed to stay ahead. He texted Mia, got another anonymous tip. "Audio. You want it?" Her response was immediate. "Send it. I'm meeting my lawyer tomorrow." Levi shared the file, solidifying their alliance. Mia's evidence and his were now a shared arsenal, locking Claire and Jake in a corner. The next morning, Levi woke to a knock at the door. A courier handed him an envelope, no return address, his name typed in block letters. Inside was a single page, a printed screenshot of Claire's bank app, showing a transfer of $3,000 to an account labeled J.T. Jake's initials. The date matched a weekend she'd claimed to be visiting her sister in Dallas. Levi's blood ran cold. She'd been siphoning money, building an escape fund. He scanned the document to Sarah, who called within minutes. "This is fraud if she used joint funds," she said. "We'll freeze the account today." Levi headed to work, but his focus splintered. During a lunch break, he met Mia at a coffee shop near Zilker Park. She slid a USB drive across the table. "My PI pulled hotel records," she said. "Claire and Jake checked in together 3 times last month." Levi took the drive, his resolve hardening. "She's still dodging," he said. Mia nodded. "Jake's doing the same. Moved out to a friend's place last night. Thinks he can wait this out." Levi shook his head. "They're running out of time." Back home, Claire's car was in the driveway. Levi braced himself, entering to find her at the kitchen table, the divorce papers spread out, a pen in her hand. She looked up, eyes red but defiant. "You didn't have to ambush me," she said, voice low. Levi set his keys down, unmoved. You didn't have to lie for months. She pushed the papers toward him and signed. We can work this out. I made a mistake. Levi slid the bank transfer screenshot across the table. Mistakes don't cost $3,000. Claire's face paled as she read it. That was for a work thing, she stammered. Levi didn't blink. Stop. I have audio, hotel records, photos. It's over. She stood, pacing, her hands twisting together. Who's sending you the stuff? She demanded. Levi shrugged. Doesn't matter. You built this mess. His phone buzzed, another anonymous text. Check her car. Glove box. He ignored it for now, keeping his eyes on Claire. Sign the papers, he said, or Sarah takes this to court. Claire sat, silent, staring at the documents. Levi stepped outside to her Honda, popping the glove box. Inside was a burner phone, cheap and prepaid. He powered it on, finding a single contact, Jay. Messages detailed meetups, coded language about projects and trips. Levi pocketed the phone, returning inside. Claire was still at the table, pen hovering over the signature line. I didn't want this, she whispered. Levi didn't respond, just watched as she scrawled her name, the ink finalizing their end. She stood, grabbing her purse. I'll stay with my sister, she said, voice flat. Levi nodded. Leave the burner phone. Claire froze, then pulled it from her bag, tossing it onto the table without a word. She walked out, the door clicking shut behind her. Levi sat, the signed papers in front of him, the burner phone a silent witness. He texted Sarah. She signed. What's next? Her reply was swift. File tomorrow. You're free. Levi leaned back, the weight of months lifting, replaced by a cold clarity. Claire was gone, but the anonymous tipster remained a shadow, their motives unclear. He opened his laptop, uploading the burner phone's messages to his growing evidence folder. The game wasn't over. Someone was still watching, pulling strings. Levi wasn't just dismantling Claire's lies. He was stepping into a larger web, one he'd unravel next. Levi stood in the county clerk's office, the signed divorce papers filed by 9 a.m., Sarah's efficiency cutting through Austin's morning bustle. The clerk stamped the documents, confirming the marriage's end. Levi felt no relief, only a quiet resolve to close this chapter. Sarah met him outside, handing over a USB drive with all the evidence. Messages, photos, audio, bank transfers. You're covered, she said. Claire can't contest this. Levi nodded, slipping the drive into his pocket. He had one last loose end, the anonymous tipster. Back at the bungalow, Levi listed it for sale, the realtor promising a quick turnover in East Austin's hot market. He packed essentials, moving to a South Austin condo with a view of the Colorado River. The new space was a clean slate, free of Claire's shadow. At his desk, he opened his laptop, sifting through the tipster's messages. The latest, received post-confrontation, read, You're welcome. She's not the only one who lied. No number trace, no sender ID, just a taunt. Levi's instincts pointed to someone close, someone with access. He texted Mia, now a partner in dismantling their spouse's deceit. Any idea who's sending these tips? Her reply came fast. My PI thinks it's someone at their firm. Maybe a coworker Jay crossed. Levi considered this, recalling Jake's smug demeanor at the Driscoll. Arrival made sense. He dug into the firm's LinkedIn page, cross-referencing employees with recent activity. One name stood out, Rachel, a junior marketer who'd commented on Jake's posts with subtle shade. Levi messaged her. I know you've been sending me evidence. Let's meet. I need to understand why. Rachel agreed, suggesting a food truck park off Barton Springs at noon. Levi arrived early, grabbing a taco to blend in with the lunch crowd. Rachel approached, her laptop bag slung over one shoulder, her expression guarded. I'm the one, she admitted, sitting across from him. Jake tanked my promotion to boost Claire's campaign. I saw them together at a client event, sneaking off, so I started digging. She slid a flash drive across the table. More proof, email backups, calendar invites. I sent you enough to bury them. Levi took the drive, his curiosity shifting to gratitude. Why help me, he asked. Rachel shrugged. I wanted justice, not just revenge. Jake's a climber, Claire's his enabler. They cost me a year's work. Levi nodded, understanding her motive. You could have gone public, he said. She shook her head. Too messy. This way, you and Mia got the truth without my name attached. Levi pocketed the drive. Thanks. This ends it. That evening, Levi met Mia at a brewery near Zilker Park to share Rachel's revelations. Mia sipped her IPA. Divorce filing now in motion. Jake's begging to reconcile, she said, rolling her eyes. He's crashing at his brother's, job on the line. Levi shared that Claire had emailed him, a half-hearted apology claiming she'd lost herself. He hadn't replied. They're scrambling, Mia said, clinking her glass against his. We're done carrying their weight. Levi donated half their joint savings to a local shelter for single parents, a decision that felt right after months of betrayal. The act wasn't for show. It was closure, a way to reclaim his values. He listed Claire's remaining belongings with a storage company, texting her the pickup details. She didn't respond, but her sister confirmed she'd moved to Houston, tail between her legs. Austin's tight-knit marketing scene buzzed with whispers of Claire and Jake's fallout, their reputations frayed as colleagues distanced themselves. At his condo, Levi sat with a coffee, sketching code on a tablet for a new app project. His phone buzzed, a final anonymous text. You're free now. Don't look back. Levi deleted it, blocking the number. Rachel's role was clear. The shadow game was over. He opened a window, the river breeze cutting through the evening heat. His sister, Sarah, called checking in. You good? She asked. Better, Levi said, meaning it. Thinking about hiking Barton Creek this weekend. The next morning, Levi walked to a nearby coffee shop, laptop in tow. He ordered a flat white, settling at a corner table. A notification pinged. The bungalow sold, funds wired to his account. He closed the email, opening his code editor instead. Lines of Python flowed, a side project he'd shelved during the chaos. Each keystroke felt like a step forward, away from Claire's lies, Jake's arrogance, the tipster's cryptic nudges. Levi wasn't just rebuilding. He was rewriting his own story, one where trust, not deception, set the pace.